Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Sorry I'm a little bit of a late starter today. It's been a bit of a chaotic morning, just getting things organized. Thank you again for being here. Another wonderful episode of New Earth TV Live. What's happening today? Just making sure I'm getting everything cleaned up in the background. Sorry, not New Earth TV Live. See how disorganized I am today? The Signposts Live. Okay, welcome to the Signpost Live. Tomorrow, New Earth TV Live is happening at 10 a.m. Pacific. As you can see, I'm kind of scatterbrained today, so just getting everything ready the last minute here. Hope you're all doing well. Hope everyone is doing great. I'm looking forward to this episode, as today we're going to be looking into more of the Zodiac spread, where I'm going to be looking into 2025 and onwards, which represents the idea of the span of renewal. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to the questions that you guys have for me later on. Again, it's good to see you here. I can already see that we got quite a few donations for some questions that are on people's minds. Okay, so that's great. It's good to see. And so what we're going to do first is we're just going to go ahead and start off with some announcements. And then after we get through announcements, we're going to get into the Zodiac spread. And then we'll be getting into Q&A as well, too. So let's go ahead and begin. So I need just to change the link here because that's not the correct it's not the correct promo code, so let me go ahead and fix that. Oops, that's not the one. That's not the one either. Oh my goodness, I am like totally slipping up today. Okay, here we go. So the correct promo code for 20% off is MIDNOV 20. Okay, and that is for 20% off products in your order. Okay, so you can see how disorganized I am today, guys. So promo code is mid-November, so MIDNOV20, all capital letters, for 20% off products in your order. So again, make sure that when you guys go into the checkout, you'll see the discount code box there. That's where you type it in, click enter, apply it, and then you'll have 20% off the products in your order there. So this goes for everything with the exception of the Taurus bed kits, where the good news is the Taurus bed kits will be here late next week. All right, so it's been a hectic journey trying to get the Taurus bed kits to me. There's just been nothing but delays, processing, extra fees, all that stuff. It's November has been a very challenging month as far as finances and trying to get things to me are concerned. So again, I apologize for the long wait in getting the Taurus bed kits here, but they're almost here. They will be here late next week, by Friday next week, Friday evening next week, and then the weekend next, then I'll be preparing everything for orders. So, it's just been a nightmare. I think I need to get a staff or something like that because it's mostly just me and my girlfriend that are doing all the work here with the Etherics orders. So, again, that's the promo code. You can use that, 20% off your products in your order. You can check out our website, etherics.co. You can also check out our YouTube channel. I'm going to see if I can find a time to do another Etherics live stream here very soon. I just haven't had the chance. There's just so much on my shoulders right now that I'm trying to work on, but would like to get another one going. So maybe we'll try for next Wednesday for a live stream for Etherics. Anyways, you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram as well too. And so now for the next announcement that I'm excited to share. This is actually through my partner, Brienne. My girlfriend's new website here is called trinityhomehealing.com. So my girlfriend Brienne has been working with feng shui, all right, but it is not the fast food, common, modern type of feng shui that many people may understand, that some people are actually getting and saying, oh, well, all you have to do is if you have a money corner, you just have to make sure it's furthest away from the door and all that stuff. All of that, guys, unfortunately, is a bunch of garbage, right? That's not how it works. And Brienne has been fully trained into the ancient style of feng shui. And she's been spending the last several months studying and practicing and working with clients as well too. And now she's finally able to bring her new feng shui business into the public, right? And I always say that there's two most important things when you're going into your healing journey. Number one is personal healing for your body. Number two is healing for your environment. And this is exactly where feng shui comes in, okay? So with feng shui, there's a lot more to it than just thinking of organizing a home. There is a great deal of benefits that come through performing feng shui, okay? And this is Brienne here. and she is offering the Flying Star Feng Shui. Okay, Flying Star Feng Shui is ancient. It is an ancient and accurate way of Feng Shui. And the best way to work with Feng Shui is when you're moving much more into the ancient practices. You don't want to go with a lot of these kind of modern fast foodies. There's a lot of modern fast foodies with Feng Shui. And I've seen them as well too, and I just never resonated with the idea of how they do Feng Shui. Because they try to make it very, very easy, and it's not. There's a lot of calculation, there's a lot of work involved, and Brianne is so incredibly good at it. So she's Feng Shuied our house here. She Feng Shuied my condo when I was there, and everything worked out super well. Finances worked out well, health worked out well, our relationship has worked out very well through Feng Shui. So Brianne knows what she's doing. She's an incredible Feng Shui specialist, an incredible Feng Shui practitioner. And what I'd like to do is I'm just going to play one of her intro videos here for you. And you guys can check out her website too. It's trinityhomehealing.com. Okay, and here's her intro video.
Hello everybody, my name is Brianne, and I wanted to thank you guys for taking some time out and
I don't think I
joining me
can
for my
because I have my
very first
microphone.
video.
Okay, no, I'm not able to play it because of my microphone. Actually, maybe I could. Maybe I just can't hear it. Let me get my headphones on first. Yeah. See, like I said, guys, super disorganized this morning. Let me just put my headphones on first, and I'll replay her video for you. Okay, let's try that again.
Hello everybody, my name is Brianne. I wanted to thank you guys for taking some time out and joining me for my very first video. I'm going to be dedicating this channel to Flying Star Feng Shui. So if that's something you guys are interested in and you want to learn how to incorporate classical Feng Shui into your home to help optimize health, wealth, and relationships, then I'd love for you guys to follow me on this journey. So feel free to subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys in the next video.
All right. Isn't she sweet? So again, that is Brianne. That's my partner who's living with me. She's also helping out with etherics as well too. So it's mostly just her and I that are fulfilling some orders here with etherics, and now she's getting busy with Feng Shui. Okay, so again, you can check out her website here. And these are the offerings that she has. She has a Feng Shui 2024 report. And this gives you advice about how to align your home so that you're moving much more into wealthy abundance, you're moving much more into healthy abundance, you're moving into harmonious relationships. There's so many things you can just do with your environment that represents the nature of great abundance, right? Once your environment has that alignment, and I can confirm this too, because working with biogeometry and radiesthesia, and a lot of these different forms of environmental understandings, this is a very true thing, right? I've certainly learned that through working with biogeometry and many other different facets. So she also has a mini Feng Shui report, which is just something that you can utilize through your home. She basically gets you to send her your blueprints of your home, and she calculates it all for you, and she tells you exactly what you need to do to bring some major abundance into your home, whether it comes to wealth, whether it comes to health, whether it comes to relationships, whether it comes to career. There's all sorts of great benefits that Feng Shui in its ancient form represents. And then, of course, there's the full Feng Shui report where everything's getting revealed to you, right? And you even have a virtual Zoom call with Brianne as well, too. So I wanted to pass this on because she's worked so hard on this. She's done so incredibly well. And I want to make sure that my partner is able to get this off the ground. And I wanted to share this with you guys. So again, go ahead and check out her website. It's trinityhomehealing.com. She is now accepting bookings for the Feng Shui report, the 2024, the mini Feng Shui report, and the full Feng Shui report as well too. You can see testimonials down here and all of her contacts. They're adorable. Like the little cartoon characters. Okay, so again, that is trinityhomehealing.com. Go ahead and check it out. All right, so going ahead and moving on. Private sessions are available, one-to-one private sessions, distance healing sessions, 3-question private email session, and full body source healing sessions. Of course, I do have the standalone nutrition and gene scan session that is also available. So you can check that out. It's on the other page here. Nutrition and genetic scan sessions now available on newearthteachings.com. Also going to Bosnia here, starting in the September of 2024. Explore the ancient sun pyramid, larger than the Great Pyramid of Giza. Healing chambers within the pyramid and its construction revealed by Adronos. ancient healing practices and environmental healing taught by me, witnessing sacred sites and harnessing sacred power to take back home with you. So that is between September 15th and September 22nd in the land of Bosnia, where we are looking at the largest pyramids on the entire planet. It's going to be really exciting. We're going to have an amazing tour. There's going to be so much to discover. We're going to be learning about working with the ley lines. We're going to be learning a lot more about the environmental energy, right? And feng shui kind of teaches a little bit about that as well too. And looking into extraterrestrial roots pertaining to Bosnia, because it very much is part of ETs, right? If I could give a hint, Anunnaki is one hint, okay? So this, again, is more incredible information that we're going to be looking at in Bosnia. So again, you can check out wowtours.de and you can sign up there. Finally, everything on this account has been backed up onto Odyssey. You can check out our Odyssey link, odyssey.com/@newearthteachings. All right, so let's get into it. Well, I'm not stumbling over myself so much. So again, guys, looking forward to your questions today. Looks like we got some really good ones here. Looks exciting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with my tarot. Oh, I think my tarot's in the other room. See, like I said, guys, so disorganized today. Let me just get a second. I'm just going to go grab my tarot. One moment. Okay. Brad is so scattered today. No kidding. All right, so I'm going to give these a good shuffle. So we're going to be looking into the renewal era, the era of renewal. Okay. So Adronis has always talked about 2016 to 2024 representing a span of change. After we get past 2024 and come into 2025, we go into a new transitional age, and that represents the span of renewal, right? Which means there still will be change involved, but it's representing change that is leading into overhaul. It is change that is leading into new transformation. It is change that is moving into a new way of life. Everything that we have thought our traditional systems represent are going to be just dumped on their heads, right? And we're basically seeing everything starting to turn around. And the genesis of that time, the benchmark of that time, will be closer to around 2025, right? 2024 can have hints of it as well too. But as we get into the transitional time with 2025 to 2036, this is going to represent the span of renewal. And that's exactly what we're going to be looking at today, is that 2025 to 2036 gap, and get an idea about what the span of renewal represents throughout those years altogether. Okay, so we've already done a Zodiac spread looking into 2024. If you guys have not seen that, you can look back at the Signpost episodes from the past 2 weeks. Okay, so the Friday before Friday and last Friday as well too. Check those ones out, because I gave a lot of information pertaining to 2024 about what we can look forward to. Now, I only do have one camera set up here today, so I'm just going to be moving my camera down once I get the spread down. And then we're going to be looking into the Zodiac spread relating to 2025 to 2036. So why do this? Well, because it's not very far away, right? It's a little over a year away before we start off with that new span and getting an idea about what it represents. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that now. As I give the cards a bit of a shuffle, I'll start moving the camera down here so you can see it okay. All right, hopefully that's good enough. There. Okay, great. So let's take a look and see what we got here for the Zodiac spread. Okay, so I'm going to turn the cards sideways here, just so you guys can see it better. I hope I have enough room on the desk. We have to be very gracious with space here. Okay, so this is representing Aries. This is the first house. Okay, second house, okay, which represents Taurus. Third house, which represents let's see, the names right on the tip of my tongue, representing Gemini. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. And the fourth house, oh, that one's nice. Okay, representing Cancer. Okay, fifth house, representing Leo. 6th house, representing Virgo. 7th house, representing Libra. 8th house, representing Scorpio. Geez, I hope I have enough room. It's really getting tight here. Let me see if I can move these down a little bit more. I now know exactly what Janine goes through when she tries to do these. It's like such tight space. It's such a big reading. And it's just a matter of really confining utilizing your space graciously here. Okay, so then we have the 9th house here. Okay, representing Sagittarius. Then we have the 10th house here, representing Capricorn. And we have the 11th house here, representing Aquarius. And finally, we have the 12th house, representing Pisces. And then, of course, we have the 13th. Okay, 13th representing the Emperor. Okay, basically get an idea about where we fit in all this. So let me see if I can turn the cards this way. That way it's a little bit easier for you guys to see, I think. Is it? Not really. Okay. Trying to find out what works best on the camera, but I don't think it's doing that for me today. Okay, so basically we have Aries here, the 1st house, and we have the 7th house of Libra here, representing 2025 to 2036, the span of renewal. So this is telling me that this is indeed going to represent big change. This is going to be a heart center, and it kind of feels like we're about to shed a skin. We're shedding a very old skin that has been with us for a very, very long time. Adronis has always termed it as the idea of like a snake that is shedding its skin altogether. And that's exactly what we're experiencing here through this reading here. It's kind of a messy zodiac. But again, I just have to kind of work with one camera here today. So between the 1st and the 7th house, like I said, we're seeing new beginnings. We're seeing this new benchmark. It is very much like what I've been saying about 2025 to 2036. Something new is going to unearth. Now, if we're looking at Mars, or we're looking at Aries, I should say. We're looking at Aries, we're seeing the idea of new beginnings. We're looking at something that represents the soul. We're looking at something that represents the ego as well too, the self, okay? The entire embodiment of ourselves. So this is basically telling me that the earth is going to be engulfed in so much love. Where there is so much tragedy, it's basically awakening people a lot more to send a lot more love around the entire planet. Because this is what I hear a lot of people saying, it's just send love to these places. Give love, give compassion, give support, give assistance to those that are struggling tremendously right now. They need help. They need your love. They need your light. And so this is exactly what's happening, right? This is exactly why quite regularly during weekly webcasts, I will go ahead and I'll start doing particular guided meditations for the earth to send love, to send happiness, to send joy to the entire planet. When we're looking at the Libra, okay, we're looking at the scales here. This is representing, again, that youth that is picking up that wand and really just taking it and using it. This is where power is coming back into people's hands. This is also representing the public, okay? So the nature of something on a much more larger scale, we could be seeing something like a revolution that's coming together here, right? People are really taking their power back. They're not getting fooled by any more of the old BS that the old corrupt are trying to pigeonhole with people, right? Trying to undermine them, trying to patronize them. Think, oh, come on, this isn't going to happen. You just need to follow us, and you need to do exactly what we say, and everything's going to get better, and blah, 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 blah. And it's not, right? So we're seeing how we're basically at our wit's end, and we're going to start making changes. Going into Taurus, which is all about money, quite frankly. Okay, there's a little bit involving speech. A lot of it involves finance. A lot of it involves money, right? We're seeing the Hermit. So we're seeing the idea, like I said, of the money changing hands, of turning into a new direction here. Okay, and on the opposite side from Taurus, we have Scorpio here, the 8th house. Okay, so 2nd house and the 8th house. So Scorpio, like I said, it feels like there's going to be a breaking off, a branching away of the money situation here. Okay, so there's Scorpio, here's Taurus. Okay, it feels like there's going to be a moving of the money, that money itself, the entire money situation is going to branch off. It's going to take some new form. It's like people are basically being outcasted from the traditional systems. and that there's going to be a new breakthrough relating to new financial systems. So again, as we see the Hermit, it's about withdrawing, right? Which is quite appropriate because there's those ATM withdrawal things that I'm talking about, the ATM agenda, right? Where people are not able to get money and they're suffering. But like I said, I don't think that's just going to last that long. I feel like that's leading into something even greater. But from the financial end here, looking into Scorpio, because Scorpio does relate to scandals, it does relate to secrecy, it does relate to death as well too. But I feel like it's the death of the old financial system. I feel it's like the death of the old ways. It's the death of the Babylonian magic money system. And we're seeing that collapse. We're seeing that right now here in 2023. But as we're getting into 2025, right, this is talking about the entire span from 2025 to 2036, we're definitely going to see that money change hands. Okay, so something new is taking place. A new financial eruption is taking place. Okay, so going on to the third house, which represents Gemini, okay, and then going into the ninth house, which represents Aquarius, which often represents good fortune, for example. Gemini, again, this may represent a lot of loss, so I'm not too sure if there's foreclosures that happen, but it usually deals with communication, okay? So it may represent the idea of old industries falling apart, old corporations falling apart, watching the old die and letting the new be reborn. So this is kind of what this is saying. So this can be quite a depressive card here. Something is dying out. This is regarding communication, right? So the communication, maybe the way that we're communicating, maybe new things are going to start changing. New ways of communication are going to be coming together, perhaps new communication technology, how we interact with each other. Maybe there's censorship on the internet, even more so. But it feels like there's also a breakthrough on the other side, where there's good fortune. So maybe we're seeing a battle against censorship. We may see in that sense the censorship battle take much more of a toll for the worse. But it feels like, again, there's another breakthrough that's coming, representing the nature of Sagittarius there. Basically giving the nature of good fortune and opportunity, positivity coming in this way. So it may represent the idea, perhaps something pertaining to a justice, right? That there's been so much injustice pertaining to communication and censorship, and we may start to see a lot of that fall away. The companies that are basically promoting this, like lab dogs, are basically going to be falling away. And again, overhauled into something new. So this may represent a change in social media as well too. So that's what I'm getting for 3 and for 9. We're going to go into 4 and 10. Okay, so Capricorn, which really represents the household. Okay, so this is your household card here. This is all about the home. This is about houses. This is about property in that way. And we have an Ace of Wands there. When we look at the other side of the spectrum, we have Capricorn that is, again, a 2 of Cups. So this represents union. This may represent changes in living. We may actually see, because these are 2 very positive cards, we may start to see, again, changes in house markets. We may start to see, again, a lot of the expensive house rates, the mortgages and all of that may start to significantly reduce themselves. So it'll actually be a little bit easier for people to buy homes. So it looks like there's going to be some enormous change pertaining to the financial market when it comes throughout this, just one of many things, throughout this span of renewal that would represent the idea of changing in markets, the changing of the financial system, right? Because we're kind of seeing this, how this is all coming together. It feels like the power is being brought back to the people, right? We're seeing the idea of cutting loose the old financial tethers that were led by a Babylonian magic money system, and we're seeing something even greater coming together. Like I said, we're feeling like we're moving away. We're casting ourselves out of that old system so that something new can be born. 3 and 9 representing communication, right? We're seeing the idea of something fall. We're seeing something, the falling away of the old and something new taking its place, perhaps to social media, perhaps to censorship. Now we're seeing the idea of us taking the power back as well too. And again, there's a feeling of union, right? There's a connection there. It feels like the financial system is actually going to start working together with people, right? So we have Capricorn, which represents power, represents status. It represents government, right? It will represent a change in government. Okay, so maybe there's the whole idea that when that time comes, we've already had a government shutdown, right? And we may now start to see new leadership come together. We may start to see new restructuring of the entire landscape pertaining to government, right? The government that we would know throughout this span of renewal will not exist. So I think there's going to be some major changes taking place as it relates to the governments of the world at that time. And like I said, we may start to see feelings of a new household coming together. So again, maybe homes that are much more affordable, because again, this is all about household, this is all about living, this is all about prosperity of the land in that sense. So it feels like things are going to be given back. This is going to be a very interesting time looking at this all together. Okay, so let me see, I'm sorting these things out properly here. Moving on into 5 and 11. Okay, so this is representing 5, which is Leo. Okay, Leo is representing the Queen of Pentacles. So again, more financial abundance, something in regards to nurturing, giving money back to the people. So we may start to see things similar to prosperity funding that may be coming back as well too, right? It may be representing the end and dissolving away of debts that may be coming again between 2025 and 2036. And I'm just giving my perspective on this, guys. I'm not chiseling this in granite, okay? But this is basically what I'm getting here. And then, of course, we have the devil representing the 11th house, which is often house of gains, okay? So I feel like there's going to be some cutting out of chains, like cutting away of temptations, cutting away of debt, right? Because this is basically what this is telling me. Usually it's a house of gains, but I feel like it's like we're trying to get out of debt. We're getting out of debt. We're getting out of taxes. We're getting out of all of these things that basically bind us to the old money system. A lot of this sounds financial, showing that a signification of a lot of financial changes that are taking place here. So it feels like there is amnesty here for every man, woman, and child that's coming. And it feels like, again, we're breaking free of those chains because we have been chained by debt. We have been chained by taxes. We have been chained by everything, just basically leaving us nothing but crust in the end. So it feels like those chains are going to be cut, right? So it tells me that there's prosperity over all of this debt that has been soaking us dry altogether. So again, that's very interesting to see here. So now we have Virgo and we have Pisces here at the end. Okay, so Virgo representing, again, service, labor, right? A lot of work. Okay, so there's going to be some clashing here pertaining to Virgo. It can also represent the idea of enemies. It can represent foes. It can represent conflicts as well too, pertaining to Virgo. And it's aspecting here with Pisces. Pisces actually represents loss, but it can also represent other things as well too, right? So this is going to be another emotional roller coaster. You're going to continue to see things plummet. You are going to see more of the old corrupt battling itself until they completely and totally plummet to the ground, right? It's not about saying, oh, there's going to be a little bit of changes, but the corrupt will still be around. No, 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 no. This is a complete and total dismantling of everything that is corrupt on the planet. And that is exactly what the span of renewal is saying, is that you're going to see everything taken down. You're going to see everything that has been touched by the corrupt. You're going to see it plummet. You're going to see it free fall. You're going to see it cascade and fall apart right before your eyes. All of it has to go. Very much like what I've said in the past, not a single stone is going to be left unturned. All of this needs to plummet. All of it needs to cast away. And then again, there's it's kind of like a new emotional time, right? So this does represent indeed a new era. A lot of people have talked about the age of Aquarius, right? But this really represents the idea of the Queen of Cups, and she's looking at an item, right? Something new, something she's focusing on, a new way of constructing, a new way of building, a new transformation that's taking place throughout humanity. And this is what the 13th card represents here, is the Emperor. So a new foundation is being constructed, new leadership is underway, right? And a new way of life is coming together. And we're going to basically be sitting in our own thrones. We're still going to have leaders. There's still going to be politicians. There's still going to be governments. But a lot of it is going to be heavily sanitized. A lot of it is going to be heavily overhauled. That is exactly what 2025 to 2036, representing the span of renewal, is showing me here today, is looking at these cards and get an idea that there's been a lot of financial information, right? A lot of new financial transformation taking place, the end of debt, the end of just being screwed around, the end of the Babylonian magic money system. Again, the rejection of the old systems that are nothing but corruption. All of that is going to be going into free fall, and we're building new foundation. We're making something new. We're going to use similar systems, but these similar systems are going to be a lot more cleaner. They're going to be a lot more fair. They're going to be a lot more just. And that's something that a lot of us, I know, are going to have a hard time believing. It's like, we're just so used to being screwed around. We've been screwed around for centuries, yeah. Can we now imagine a life where you're not getting screwed around anymore, right? It's hard to believe, right? And this is exactly why things are in free fall right now, because it needs to happen through transition. It's not going to happen all at once, because the majority of the people on the planet are not used to just suddenly getting into a system where they're not going to be screwed around, where there's not going to be people that are out for your money. There's not going to be governments trying to take every penny out of you, trying to turn you upside down and shake your pockets of every single coin that you have so that they can collect it for themselves. That's something that we've been dealing for so many centuries. And that's just not something that you're going to see wash away overnight. You got to look at this free fall. You got to look at this cascade. You got to look at this transitional time where every single stone is being turned over. And we're seeing something new. The corrupt is not just going to fall a little bit. They are going to completely and totally die. And that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing right now in 2023. You are watching them all die, right? Or dying. And that's why there's so much chaos upon the planet, because they are losing everything, and they will make as much noise. They will try to be as frantic as possible. They will do absolutely everything in their power to try to create confusion, to try to create calamity, to try to create conflict, so that it doesn't give the impression that they're falling. But they have been falling for a long time, and now they're going into a state of free fall. So, overall, that is what I'm getting for the Zodiac reading, pertaining to 2025 to 2036, representing the span of renewal. Okay, so very interesting. Like I said, I'm going to be bringing Janine here, hopefully in December, okay, and see if she has some information relating perhaps to something like that. I know we'll probably be talking a lot about 2024, but I haven't forgot about Janine, right? I'm working to get her here. So like I said, I'm just going to talk to her at the end of this month or early of December and see if we can work at a time where she can come on and we can do a session together once again, another interview. All right, guys, so that is 2025, 2036, representing the Zodiac reading for that span of time. And it very much plays a part in regards to a lot of stuff that I've talked about relating to the span of renewal, right? It is going to be good times, but there's still going to be shakeup, right? We got so much on this planet to fix. Basically, I would say that every single modern system that we have for humankind right now is wrong. Every single one. So when you look at that and say, well, Brad, our food supply, yep, wrong. Our water supply, yep, wrong. How we take care of the air, yep, wrong. How we use power and energy, yep, wrong. How we educate our children, how we educate ourselves, yep, wrong. Our science, yep, wrong. Everything relating to ourselves, our politics, our government, wrong, wrong. How we use finances, wrong. How we're working with debt, wrong, right? Everything is wrong. Everything. If it was just a few things, we'd probably see things come together very quickly, right? We'd see immense change. But every single human-made system that we are using in regards for daily life is completely and totally wrong. None of it's right, right? Like, again, you look at how we use power. Okay, we're polluting everything. We're using nuclear power. We're using coal power, right? We're just using all of this ridiculous, dirty technology. How we're, again, using gasoline vehicles, and how we're using electrical vehicles, which are even worse than gasoline vehicles, pertaining to their emissions. And that's wrong, right? Very little of anything pertaining to our natural human systems is right. You're looking at a complete and total overhaul where we basically need to start from scratch. That's it, right? So yes, these systems are going to be overhauled, but they need to be completely renewed. They need to be rebuilt. They need to be reformed. You cannot create technology that's going to hurt the earth, right? Because again, a lot of these companies that are doing this, they don't care about the condition of you. They don't care about the condition of living beings. They don't care about the conditioning of nature or the earth. They just want to make money, and that's it. That's all that they're concerned about. So I want to make money. Yeah, okay, well, we'll poison people just a little bit. It's okay if we poison them a little bit, but then we make lots of money, right? And they don't realize that they're poisoning themselves. It really is just a ridiculous, outrageous absurdity of looking at all of these things that represent our natural building blocks of life, of what we use on a daily basis, and it's all wrong. All of it, right? everything has to change. So you're not going to just basically snap your fingers, okay, guys, everything's going to change, boom, we're done overnight, right? Okay, this will take about a year. No, guys, you're looking at decades for this to change, okay? We're looking at a brand new renewal. We're looking at a benchmark. But even past that particular point, we have so much to change. Every single thing, every single system in our way of life is screwed up. It's inverted. It's wrong. It needs to die, and it needs to be rebirthed into something greater. That's a lot of work. And especially when you have nearly 8 billion human beings on this planet that are utilizing these things, that makes it even more challenging. Especially when a lot of those human beings want to defend these corrupt systems, right? And they want to fight for their life because they're used to eating crap sandwiches. It's like, if you let me take this stuff away from you, and then I'll bring you even better for, no, you're not taking away my crap sandwiches. Oh, right? And that's really what we've been eating, guys. We've been eating nothing but crap sandwiches for centuries, okay? And it's time to take all that stuff away so that we can bring something new. We're bringing through the divine fruit, right? Well, we don't want that. I'm going to take away my crap sandwich. Because that's what's happening, right? We've been eating nothing but crap sandwiches for centuries. Our ancestors have been eating nothing but crap sandwiches for centuries, okay? And now we're getting out of the phase of eating crap sandwiches and now looking to start moving towards the divine fruit. But there needs to be cooperation here, and people are just fighting each other and basically trying to keep these systems alive. They're killing people. They're killing themselves. That are killing others. It's really just madness altogether. So again, that is what this reading is talking about, is the idea of being able to see renewal come together, a shift and change, so that a lot more of these stones can be turned over. All right? Okay, guys, let's go ahead and move into the questions that you have today, because again, I got quite a few donations here. So hello, everybody. Glad you're here. So, I do have another question here from Jijo Matthew. Jonas, what can you tell us about the Hindu god Hanuman? Okay. So, Jijo, I will go ahead and bring Adronis in, and he will talk a little bit more about Hanuman in that way, about this particular Hindu god. And let me see if I can pull up an image in case you guys don't know what Hanuman is yet. I'm just going to go ahead and pull up an image, and we're going to look a little bit briefly into Hanuman, for those who are not familiar. Hanuman. Okay. I have to go to Wikipedia for these. Let me just go ahead and go down to here. Just give me one moment here, guys. Properties. Okay. So here's a little bit of information on Hanuman here. Right? He's a god of wisdom, strength, courage, devotion, and self-discipline. He can be referred to almost like as a monkey god in that way. Hanuman is one of the central characters of the Hindu epic Ramayana. He's an ardent devotee of Rama and one of the Chiranjeevis. Hanuman is regarded to be the spiritual son of the wind god Vayu, who in several stories played a direct role in Hanuman's birth. Hanuman is mentioned in several other texts, such as the epic Mahabharata and the various Puranas. Okay, so we're going to be looking more into this particular figure, just as Jijo Matthew requests. Okay, it's a paid request, so I will go ahead and bring Adronis through, and we can look a little bit more into Hanuman, what they call him, Hanuman, Hanuman altogether. Okay. Okay, so let me go ahead and bring my camera back here. All right, and we'll go ahead and we'll begin. So I believe, oops. Okay, there we go. Let's go. Terra Soul Star Sirius Adronis Here. At this time, we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I'm Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast being brought forward through your internet collective consciousness. What we'd like all of you to do at this time is simply allow yourselves to get relaxed, get comfortable, and tune in to the vibrations of Sirius, so that you may synchronize, harmonize, and align to all of the information that we have to share. Also understand that all of the information that we shall provide for you today is simply that of our perspective, our point of view. For all knowledge, all information, all creation itself resides within your very hearts, beings, and souls. We have been asked by the individual known as Jijo Matthew to elaborate a little bit further pertaining to the Hindu god, representing that of Hanuman. Well, firstly, you have to understand that these particular beings that are being mentioned are the representation of the human spirit. That's what they represent. Everything pertaining to a Hindu god represents an attributional quality to the living God that resides within yourself. As you have already discovered, that Hanuman represents that nature of strength and courage. He also represents steadfastness. He also represents honesty and integrity altogether. It is a facet from within yourselves. It's not about looking too much into the story, because that's only telling you a lot more pertaining to the attributional nature of this particular being and his associations together about how he came into being. But it's more so looking into the nature of what he represents through you. That Hanuman represents that strength, that courage. He represents the idea of the light of the world. He is showing you that golden path that resides within you to knowing that through your strength, through your courage, reward itself is inevitable. It is the attributional quality of yourself as a living God to which Hanuman, which represents the nature of the monkey in that way, which represents also resilience, strength, and courage, because that is the symbolism to which Hanuman represents. Not to say that he is actually in that sense a monkey god, but he utilizes the framework representing the nature of how the monkey is perceived by Indian culture. That they are strong, that they are resilient, that they are courageous, that they are agile, that there is truly a fruitfulness from them, and that he embodies that energy in the form of a man. And again, it's representing an attributional quality, representing what is held within you as a living God. You are Hanuman. You are Ganesha. You are Vishnu. You are Shiva. You are Brahman. You are all of the Hindu gods, because they are showing you a tour of the attributional qualities that you hold within yourself. And that is the message we want to convey, because we have talked about the Hindu gods before. Adronis, do they exist? They exist within you. They reside within you. They are the higher dimensions of pure divine creativity, of expression. Even through what you would term as their light and their darkness, they still reside within yourself. It is the attributional quality that resides within all of you, and it's a reminder when you look at these Hindu gods of how you can therefore harness that and bring it into being, and therefore show your own godliness through the representation of how the Hindu gods are doing that. How they show their courage, how they show their strength, how they show their emotional clarity, how they show their insight, is all just a reflection coming back to you, your attributional quality as a living God. All right? We thank you very much for your question. All right. Thank you, Adronis, and thank you, Jijo Matthew, for your question. Okay, so this is from ACB, and thank you for your donation both, Jijo and ACB. Good day, Brad. In a previous episode, you mentioned possible prosperity packages for the people. Can you pull cards on what that might look like? A monthly stipend, like Social Security, perhaps? Okay, we'll look at that. But like I said, just before I get into that question, right, a lot of people still ask me about Nisara and Gasara. And I'm saying, sorry guys, I don't see anything like that happening. Even when I've talked to Adronis in the past, he does not see anything like that happening as well too. Even when I've looked in the tarot in the past, it does not see anything like that too. There is prosperity funding, but it does not come through that particular medium as it has been expressed. Because like I said, there's a lot of people that want to debate that with me, and that's fine. And there's a lot of people that have been holding out for Nisara Gasara going all the way back to the 1990s. believing that in 1999, leading into 2000, that this was going to be the birth year of Nosera and Gesera. Right? Then as you started getting into the 2010s, 2011, 2012, oh, for a sure thing, it's going to be happening. And then as we started getting into 2020, or it's the start of a new decade, or here's Nosera and Gesera, nothing happens, right? And with all due respect, and I'm only giving you guys my perspective, if you guys basically want to wipe your butt with my perspectives and throw it away, then that's fine. But I'm still going to give you perspective, okay? From my perspective, Nosera and Gesera is nothing but hopium, right? That's all it's ever been, even from the first day I looked into it. And it was back in 2008 when I first started looking into that. And I said, no, there's just something inside of me. I'm sure it sounds good, right? But there's just something inside of me that tells me that that's complete BS. That's nothing but hopium, okay? But there certainly is prosperity ideas, prosperity funding coming together, okay? Different prosperity in different ways, right? So again, it can represent the disillusion of debt, right? That everybody who's been in debt is basically going to be forgiven, okay? And that's something that has been confirmed by the cards. So can we pull cards on what that might look like, okay? So what would a typical prosperity package in the times ahead look like, right? So let's take a look and see what the cards say for that. See what comes out here. Okay, because I'm getting the feeling it's not a package. Okay, this is the feeling. It's not really a package. It's not really something that's going to be delivered to your door and saying, okay, guys, here you go. Here's prosperity funding. Okay, so we're looking at the moon here. Okay, so this is basically just a 4-card reading. So, sorry, let me go back around here. This one is supposed to be here, 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 here. All right. So the first card is the moon. This is representing the outcome. There is no package that's coming for prosperity funding, right? It's not a package. It's not something that you get in the mail. It's not something that you feel in that sense is just going to be handed into your hands and say, here you go, guys, here's prosperity funding. It is the idea as I feel as the overhaul to something. It is the complete and total dissolution of something. Excuse me. Got a frog in my throat this morning. So it is the dissolution of something, okay? So we are seeing the idea that something of that nature is going to come along, but how it shows itself, people may be disappointed, okay? So we're looking at the idea of heartbreak because a person is feeling like, okay, just put it in my hands. Just give it to me. Maybe it's in a sack, right? Maybe it's in an envelope. Whatever it is, just hand it over to me, okay? Come on. But that's not what it is. It represents, I feel, the dissolution of old systems, right? There may be payouts that may come together, but I don't feel like it's a package. I don't feel like it's something that you need to sign up for. I don't feel like it's something that's just going to arrive in your mailbox. And okay, guys, here's prosperity funding, right? And I don't feel like that's really what's happening. So a lot of people want it to be packages and stuff like that. But what you want and what it will actually be are two different things. And that's not up to me. That's not up to any one person. That's up to the natural flow of things, right? The natural flow of things is basically saying, this is not going to be something you're going to hold in your hand. This is not going to be a package in the mail. This is not going to be something that's just going to be delivered that you can physically hold. When we're looking at the nature of prosperity, you're looking at the dissolving of old systems that required that kind of taxation or that required that kind of interest from coming together. And basically we're seeing that getting expunged. This is why I say that there could be something like debt forgiveness, because you're looking at old systems fall away that depended upon that. And when those systems are not there anymore, then there's nothing pertaining to debt that remains, right? It's the squashing away of debt, okay? And that's really what I'm seeing pertaining to debt forgiveness. But it wouldn't represent a particular package that I'm aware of, right? A monthly stipend like Social Security, perhaps. I wasn't seeing anything like that, okay? And I'm not saying it's never going to happen like that. I'm just saying right now, as how things look, it doesn't look like it's going to be something that you would see just, a bunch of free money given to you. And I know that's what a lot of people want, right? Okay, let's give us $10,000 or $100,000 and just throw it at me. And I don't see that happening, right? I just see the idea of debt being erased. I see the idea of people's debts falling away, right? Of a large-scale debt forgiveness system. And that's kind of what I would refer to as something that represents prosperity, because it's the end of your debts, okay? And maybe there's something like universal basic income, but those usually have catches to them as well too. So unfortunately, guys, I'm not seeing anything. We're getting the moon card there, and we're getting heartbreak over here. This is telling me that people are going to be disappointed of what they think prosperity funding is, right? They think it's a package. They think it's something that's handed to them. They think it's free money that's just coming into their bank account. And I'm not seeing that, right? I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing something that's going to be quite good, but I don't see that, okay? And that's just how I see it right now. Things can change, but that's really how I'm seeing it right now. And I'm not carving anything in granite, okay? But this is basically what I'm seeing right now through what the cards are telling me, okay? So debt forgiveness, for one, is a very good thing. But like I said, I think it's going to still take a little bit of time before that gets off the ground. There's a lot more shifts that need to happen first and foremost before, you know, full out scale debt forgiveness is done. Because like I said, the whole system in regards to the Babylonian magic money system needs to fall, needs to collapse, so that those debts themselves can be expunged. Okay? So again, ACB, thank you for your question. Okay. All right, so this one here is from MLK Star Fashion. Hi, Brad. Could you look if Michelle Obama has a chance to be elected as president? I printed the EMF symbol, added it to my bedroom, and I can feel the energy of my room becoming more relaxed. Oh, good. Glad to hear that. Okay, Michelle Obama. So let's look at M. Obama and just see in that sense about what is ahead for her. All right, take a look at that. I know some people may have qualms for me referring to her as a her, but in the interest of courtesy here, I'll just refer to her as her. All right, so let's take a look at M. Obama and what is ahead for M. Obama. All right. I would say the best way to put this is she's going to try to. Okay, she's going to try to. I can't guarantee that she will be, but she's really going to try to, right? And I just don't think people are going to accept her in that way, right? So the idea here is, so this is the first card here. So this is representing her, right? Wanting to enter into candidacy of presidency, right? But I feel like there's going to be a lot of delusions along that way. And I don't even know if this is actually going to happen, right? Right now, it just feels kind of like a talk. It could happen, but it just feels like with this Seven of Cups here in the situation, I don't know if that's actually happening, right? If it did happen, there would be a lot of conflict pertaining to support. I guess the best way to put it. She's definitely a very strong figure, and she certainly has the energy to do it, but it's just a matter of people getting behind her in that way, right? But I can't even really say, like, I'm not even really getting a feeling that she may even do this. I think there's talk about it. Maybe there's consideration for doing it. If she does attempt to do it, she's going to have a lot of competition, right? Because Trump is basically right now on fire, right? So it's going to be challenging, that's for sure. Because usually when you look at the Democratic Party, they have really no reference of a good system at all, of people wanting to even get involved with that. So it would certainly be a very uphill climb if that happened, but I'm just getting the feeling I don't think she's going to. I mean, there's that Seven of Cups, and I just don't know if it's as certain that she will be. Okay, so we have to look at it and see, right? Nothing in granite, we just have to see. But if she does, it'll be a very big uphill climb to the top. She has the strength to do it, but again, the people, like I said, if she ever got elected, it'd be because of the machine, right? The machine of politics trying to rig her in like they did with Biden, right? So we'll just see. We'll have to see. But I'm not really getting a possibility of that even being a possibility right now, right? Right now, at the most, it's a 50-50. It's a maybe. Okay? Thank you for your question. All right. Okay, here's one from Golden Rule, $11 for a donation. Thank you. Brad Adronis, who or what are the Skinwalkers and the Dogman? Okay, I've talked about the Skinwalkers before as well, too. All right? You're basically looking at interdimensional beings. You basically are looking at shapeshifters in that way. Dogmen, very, very similar. Now, some people will actually refer to them as werewolves, right? Dogmen, werewolves in that way. And basically, you're looking at sorcerers, right? So you're basically looking at sorcerers that are able to materialize their astral body with the assistance of certain demonics that come together that would almost give them like a dog, man, or werewolf-like appearance. There's actually been claims of such beings like that, even running around Central and South America as well too. So skinwalkers would represent what you would know as a demonic in a human skin, okay? A parasitical being in a human skin, right? And they basically come from these lower dimensions. But I also know that there's been a lot of people doing grid work, and I think it's going to be very, very difficult for those type of beings to even come in here. Because a lot of people are doing grid work, a lot of people are clearing land, right? Especially these hot spots to where these dimensional openings can come together. So a lot of people talk about Skinwalker Ranch and all that, right? Because I've done work on that as well too, and that basically represents a vortex center, right? That represents a portal center there. But there's been so much energy, so much love of people actually going there and putting love into it, that it's certainly causing that particular portal to fluctuate, and it may start to move much more into higher vibration. But skinwalkers are basically what you refer to as demonics appearing in some type of human form. Some of them can even be hybrids as well too. They can actually be hybridized and come here as well too, that they could be part human, part demonic, right? It's the same thing with fairies. It's the same thing with ETs, right? They can actually come in and they can hybridize themselves as human beings, and they can actually live in a human body, but really where their mind belongs to are those particular realms. So a skinwalker, in this particular way pertaining to impersonation, would be forming a conduit, a human conduit, but through that human conduit you'd be looking at a demonic, right? Dogman, right? So again, you're looking at a very powerful sorcerer that would be able to do that, that maybe have a lot of experience in the occult, and basically just getting himself into him or herself into a trance state, and bonding together with other particular types of demonics to therefore form a materialized body that would represent that of a dogman or a werewolf, okay? But in that way, they have a container, and the container can only form through a nature of a geometry, and that particular being can only wander through the container representing the geometry in question that they have erected in association with their demonic cohorts, okay? It really doesn't matter for you guys to know this stuff, okay? It's really not important, because then you guys just getting more into stories about this and that. All this stuff about skinwalkers and dogman really don't matter, okay? It's not important. I know we're all curious, but curiosity really isn't a good thing in many ways, okay? It just gets your imagination running wild. Oh my God, Brad, I saw my neighbor downstairs. He gave me a weird glare. Is he a skinwalker? And that's what I get, right? And we waste time. And I basically say, no, you don't have to worry about that. You're concerned about that because I gave you guys information about that. Sometimes this knowledge can be a very dangerous thing. And that's why I say just take it with a grain of salt with what I share to you, right? I get this from Flow as well too. And it's interesting. But now, just like one of the books back there, put it in the bookshelf, okay? Don't worry about dwelling on skinwalkers or dogmen or werewolves or vampires. Yes, they do exist, but they don't have to be a part of your life as long as you're consuming that energy and you're committing that, the whole 9 yards. Then you probably will experience something like that, and you're wasting time, and you're distracting yourself, and you don't need to get involved in all that nonsense, right? It's just not something that would concern you. All I'm basically telling you guys is the mechanics of what these beings are, but now what I'd like you to do is put it on the shelf and forget about it, right? You got better things to do with your life than worry about esoteric and occult crap. Simple as that, okay? But now you know. There's the mechanics for it, okay? Thank you, Golden Rule. I'm happy to answer that because you donated to me. All right, but if it was probably a free question, I wouldn't even talk about it. Okay, I don't really like to talk about that stuff, guys, because I know that you guys are fascinated with all these different things. Like, Brad, there's so much happening on our planet. You're right, there is. And as long as you can put stuff in the back shelf after you hear about it, no harm, no foul. It's all good. But a lot of people don't, because then they start emailing me afterwards and they go, "Oh my God, Brad, you were talking about skinwalkers, and I think there's a skinwalker here." Right? And I do a check. It's like, guys, there's no skinwalker. You guys are just getting obsessed over my story, right? And that's what happens. Put it on the back shelf, right? It's good knowledge. It's nice. But again, if I keep utilizing that knowledge for evil ends, for ends that are not going to benefit me at all, it becomes much more of a hindrance than anything else. Knowledge is not always a good thing. Just be aware of that, okay? All right, wisdom is the great thing. Okay, let's go ahead now and move on. Okay, so I went past golden rules question here. Okay, so here's one from Edgardo Pineda. Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Edgardo, is it? Brad, could you ask Adronis who built and when the pyramids of Egypt were built? You don't need to ask Adronis about that because he's already covered it, okay? Survivors of Atlantis are responsible for the blueprint of the Great Pyramid of Giza, to where the being that you would refer to as Thoth, or referred to as Hermes in that sense, would represent one of the overseers, the architects pertaining to that ancient system, because he was basically, as you would refer to, as a type of avatar who constructed this particular complex to represent codes. And through those codes, it would basically give the idea of the manifestation representing the blueprint of human life as it would move forward, leading into a culmination point where humanity itself would fundamentally evolve. Egypt itself is basically our own coded message of our evolution, right? It's something that's so much more complex that even a lot of the researchers haven't even discovered of it yet, right? You're looking at beautiful geometries and you're looking at all of this order that's taking place in the plateau. You would look at the pyramids being at least over 20,000 years old, okay? But again, you're looking at a coded message. You're looking at basically a manifestation, okay? We can call it an Egyptian timeline, and we call it predictions. And it was actually something I revealed just last week in my own Etherics Academy. There's no such thing as predictions, okay? Guys, there is no such thing as predictions. The only thing that truly exists is manifestations, okay? When you are making a prediction, you are not making a prediction, you are making an attempted manifestation, okay? There's a video that I need to make about this, because this is something that is going to completely end the nature of people's draw to predictions. Also, this is why I never really like the word predictions, okay? A prediction is just a type of manifestation. That's all it is. A prediction by itself cannot stand by itself because it just represents an attempted manifestation, right? So when we're looking at the outline of Egypt pertaining to the Egyptian timeline, pertaining to the Great Pyramid of Giza code, you are looking at a manifestation of how humanity will provide itself. Everything that represents our time since the time of the pyramids were created, all the way up until the ending of this particular timeline, has been a manifestation of the living gods that are the overseers of this planet. And humanity will follow it. Simple as that. They come from a realm that is so beyond what we could ever perceive, right? It is the realm of the divine. It is the realm of the divine planes. It is the realm of the higher kingdoms. And they came here and they basically made this manifestation. The Egyptian timeline is not a timeline of prediction, but it is a timeline of manifestation. And humanity will follow it. They can't have any other choice, right? So you're basically looking at a timeline in regards to where there has been the rising and falling of empires, the introduction of great teachers upon the planet and their departing upon the world, and the continual progress of those great teachers that have helped to, again, outline this manifestation into a greater prosperity time for humanity, not as a prediction, but as a manifestation. Because there's no predictions. You've never seen a prediction. You've only seen manifestations. Okay? So there's a video I got to do about that, talking about there are only manifestations. There is no such thing as a prediction. Okay? They're just attempted manifestations. Whenever you say, oh, this person guessed the future. No, he didn't guess the future. He manifested it, right? And you manifested it, and you manifested it together. But you're all looking at it through different vantage points. You've never seen a prediction ever. There's only ever been manifestation. That's all there is manifestation. The entire nature of how everything comes into being is manifestation, not through prediction. Prediction is distortion. It's just a perspective. It cannot stand on its own because nothing pertaining to prediction exists. It is only manifestation. And when that manifestation has enough potency, you will see it manifest upon the world. right? And it helps a lot more too when people are aware of what your manifestation is. As you are aware of your manifestation and you bring it forward with great proclamation, and you see all these hundreds of thousands or millions of people who are witnessing it, manifestations exist. That's exactly how you had 9/11. That is exactly how you had coronavirus and COVID-19. Not because of a prediction, but because of a manifestation, right? Manifestations made that happen. And it's all mentalism. And it's something that can be exposed to millions. And then you're all putting your awareness into that energy. And here it comes. Okay? No such thing as predictions. Only manifestations. Okay? And the Egyptian timeline represents a great manifestation. It is a world manifestation that is so incredibly powerful that it is again given to man by God. It cannot be broken. It's not possible. That is the outline of our entire way forward. A breakthrough in human consciousness, a new shift, a new alignment into something even greater. Right? This is why I've talked about 2037, 2038, because that's when the Egyptian timeline ends. So something around those years, between 2037 and 2038, is going to be very, very tremendous of whatever happens. Right? I've tried to make my own impressions of what that may be, but even I don't have guarantees for that. But it's a manifestation that's coming together. 2037, 2038. Okay? Thank you for your question, Eduardo. Okay. Let's go down the list a bit more. Okay, so this one here is from Agus. Agus says, question for Adronis, please explain the best way to manifest. Thank you. All right. And it kind of segues into what I was just talking about. So let me go ahead and bring Adronis in, and he can talk about the best way of manifestation. We thank you very much, Agus, for your question. So, you want to learn about the best way of manifestation. The best way of bringing about a manifestation. Well, here's something that we can give you right now that will guarantee a manifestation for you. All right? We ask you right now to hold your breath. Go ahead and hold your breath. Now we want you to imagine within yourself that when you let out that breath, it is going to be the most beautiful, relieving breath you could ever imagine yourself to let out. As you're holding this breath right now, as you're continuing to hold this breath right now, that when you therefore exhale, you are seeing that that exhale is going to be so relieving and so enjoyable for you. Ready? Go. You just created the best way of manifestation. Just by working together with your breath. Because anything else that you put together in reference to that would still represent the same idea we're giving you here. The best manifestation, because there really is no such thing as the best manifestation. There's just manifestation. That's it. But you want it just as badly as you want to release your breath from when you were holding your breath. That's the whole idea of true manifestation. You are seeing everything that you wish to manifest just as if you were to hold your breath and now want to let that breath out so that you can have your next breath again. It is as dear as that. It is as powerful as that. That your ability to hold your breath and you just want to say, okay, can I let my breath go? Nope, keep holding it. Oh my goodness, I want this to end. I want to better breathe again. And it's going to feel so good to have that breath once I can let go of this held breath. And then you let it go and you feel it. And that is what your manifestations have to be. They need to be as vivid. They need to be as strong. They need to be as determined. They need to be as committed for you to let go of that breath so that you can now start to fill your lungs and enjoy that breath again. It needs to be as strong as you wanting your next breath. And if you can do that, the manifestations that will come together for you will be powerful. They will be strong. They will be vivid. They will be shown to you exactly as you have envisioned it, because you want it as bad as your next breath. And that's all there is to it, really. Because again, that's not telling you the best manifestation. That's telling you how to work with manifestation itself. It is impossible for you not to manifest. You've manifested everything in your life, whether you were conscious or subconscious or unconscious of it. Because this is what you've brought forward. Because you don't speak the language of your subconscious. You're too busy looking at the conscious self and looking at all of these perspective points and forgetting about the nature of what you are. When you are able to talk to the language of your subconscious, you are going to be able to plan out your entire life, with every manifestation being conscious, because so many of you are unconscious with your manifestations of daily life. You go into what's known as autopilot mode. You just let everything else happen to therefore manifest around you, but in that way, your subconscious is manifesting everything for you right now. But because you are not conscious of your subconscious, you're going into this autopilot situation. But when you start to look at everything pertaining to, you want that manifestation just as much as you want your next breath, you're going to be able to manifest everything. Whatever it may be, it does not matter. But that is the charge that you give it. It's the charge in saying, I'm as certain that this is going to happen just as certain as I'm going to take my next breath. It does not have to be an intense situation. But you know that that is exactly what your manifestation can be brought out of. Just as much as you want your next breath, this manifestation comes. So there's no secret to it. You already see it happening, just as you see your next breath happening. You already see it taking place, just as you see your next breath taking place. And if you have that with absolute assuredness, it will happen. Even when we give you an idea and say, oh, I don't think I could ever do that, you've already made the manifestation happen. You've already made the manifestation happen with a denial. You've already made it happen with a doubt. You may already have had it happen by you saying that I can't walk that path, and so therefore you're taking the path not traveled towards that manifestation. That's the manifestation result. That's your assuredness. Your assuredness comes through your doubt, comes through your disbelief, comes through your 100% certainty that I can't do that. And so you take the other path, even though you despise it. Because that's what a lot of you do. I can't do this work, Jonas, it's too hard. No, I can't do it. It's not possible for me to do. All right. Well, then you've taken the other path, not traveled, representing that manifestation that you have denied. And this is why you manifest all these things that you don't wish to have. Because of your beliefs. Beliefs are not a benefit. They are a hindrance. Because as long as you are holding on to your beliefs and you're holding on to all these things that you think you are, that you know are making you miserable, then misery is your constant companion. Because you give no opportunity for you to phase out those beliefs, to soften them away, to let them go so that you can see the wider path of manifestation before you that you know you truly wish to experience, but because you have absolutely no love for yourself and no trust for yourself and no confidence within yourself, you let it go. And you keep walking a path, tripping over your own feet, because that is what you feel you deserve. That's your breath. Your breath is sabotage. Your breath is conflict. Your breath is tripping over your own feet and belly aching about it and complaining about it over and over and over and over again. Why? Because you don't want to change from your patterns. And because your patterns are so deadlocked into you, that's the manifestation that you keep bringing in. But Adronis, how do I manifest better? We've already told you. You need to give up all of the patterns that sabotage you so that you can now start to move into the wide berth of manifestation that enables you to grow and to evolve and to expand. And you want that as much as your next breath. Seeing it happen before your eyes, knowing it's already happening. And that is the nature of manifestation. You've already manifested. You're always manifesting. But you keep manifesting everything that you don't desire. You keep manifesting yourself as a victim, as someone who's placing blame, as a wounded man, woman, or child. All of these issues, these conflicts, that's what you're manifesting all the time. And you can prove it to yourself. I'm not going to go anywhere with this, and this is not going to lead me anywhere. And behold, no manifestation comes, and there you go. You've proven your own doubt to you. So is that how you want to live? Ask yourself that question. And if you don't, then instigate the nature of change. And give yourself the wide berth to manifestation that is much more true to your heart path. You're doing it all the time anyways. Please keep that in mind. There is no best manifestation. There is only manifestation. All right? We thank you very much. Okay, good. Thank you, Agus, for your question. Thank you, Adronis, for the sharing. Okay, let's go ahead and move down the list here a bit more. Okay. Okay, this one here is from Mona Pianist. Mona says, question to Adronis, have non-vaccinated people become contaminated by vaccine contents from sharing things such as restaurant cutlery, massage therapist sheets, laundromats, used clothing, breathing same air? Okay, well, that's a long list here, Mona, so we'll do its best. I don't think I'm going to bring Adronis in for this, okay, because I kind of have to read your list because you have a lot of stuff here. But believe me, Adronis has talked a lot about this. And I don't, guys, here's the thing. I don't need Adronis to answer your questions, okay? I bring Adronis in because him and I are kind of like partners, right? We're basically on the same platform, okay? I bring Adronis in for your guys' sake, not for mine, okay? So if you don't mind, Mona, I will answer your question, all right? It's no longer a relationship where I'm down here and Adronis is up here, and then all Source is here. It's the idea where I'm here, Adronis is here, and here's Source. I bring Adronis in for your guys' sake, not for mine, okay? So, regarding your question about non-vaccinated people become contaminated by vaccine contents from sharing things such as restaurant cutlery. Restaurant cutlery, unless they've slobbered all over it, and there has been no washed cutlery whatsoever, then you may have something like that, okay? To basically put a spin on everything relating to what you're saying here, restaurant cutlery, massage therapist sheets, laundromats, used clothing, breathing same air. For the latter part, for the last part of your aspect, breathing same air, no, okay? It doesn't work that way. Your body has natural filters relating to that, okay? Doesn't matter if there's vaccination contents, okay? Your body has natural filters within itself to prevent that from happening. You will not notice that anything pertaining to a virus has ever come to you through an airborne means, okay? It really comes in through inner contamination, okay? You don't breathe in diabetes, okay? You don't breathe in cancer. You don't breathe in malaria or anything of that nature, okay? It's not how it works. And anybody that tells you that basically doesn't even know what the hell they're talking about, okay? This is not about the idea of air-based contamination, right? The only thing that would work in that say is if you're around radiation, but radiation comes to you through vibration, not through the air, okay? But breathing the same air, no. If that was the truth, guys, and there was just some stuff in the air right now that would be so heavily toxic, I'm pretty sure all of you would be dead, okay? And that's not how it works, okay? Use clothing. Like I said, if it's not washed, if you're basically looking at a lot of sweat that's coming in, and now that sweat is coming into your body, and maybe it's come through a very, very short time, possibly, okay? But it's something that represents a transmission. There needs to be a saliva. There needs to be some particular type of bodily resonance in that sense that makes contact and therefore ingrains itself or imbues itself or again injects itself directly into you for that to happen, all right? Lovers in that sense. One who may have in that sense had a poke recently, okay, and they're kissing and they're making love, then something like that could take place. Then they refer to that as the idea of spreading, right? Or looking into the idea, what is it, so the names escaped me also. Shedding, that's the idea, right? Then something like that could take place, right? Because then you're looking at direct exchange of bodily fluids, okay? That's something that can come together because that is moving from one body to another. That is therefore being put into the body, right? Through kissing, through sex, okay? Different story, because that's something that can come through that way. But if you're concerned because, for example, if your mother got a poke and you're living with her and you haven't even touched her or anything like that, but you're breathing the same air, you have nothing to worry about, okay? If there's laundry being done with clothing, you have nothing to worry about, okay? Laundromats, as long as you're putting in the machine, you're washing and you're drying, right? Thoroughly and well. Nothing to be concerned about. Massage therapy sheets, are they being cleaned, right? Nothing to be concerned about, all right? So like I said, if you have a person who's like sweating like crazy on a therapist sheet, and then you just go in there and bare skin and start rolling around in it, then perhaps, okay? Because again, that represents the idea of body fluid exchange, okay? That's fluids coming into your body altogether. That can be something like that. It just depends, right? So I've talked about this quite a bit over the past couple of years relating to the entire quarantine time about, you know, if you're just around a person in that sense, they're shedding, you can't just be around them and just because they're breathing the same air as you that you're going to get that, right? So unless you're like kissing them, unless you're making love to them, unless you're basically wearing their sweaty clothes that never have been washed and now you're just putting it upon yourself, I don't know why you would do that. That is a possibility, okay? But again, guys, this is what we call being a little too black and white, okay? And people are now just start to get paranoid and they become germaphobes because of that. Oh, my brother ate dinner with the fork and the knife, and oh my God, I picked up his fork and a knife. Oh my God, am I going to get infected? And you're worried about this stuff, right? And in the majority sense, no, you should be completely fine, right? But usually it comes down to the idea where there's a deeper intimacy between partners for in that sense, or if there's any particular type of body fluidic exchange, then there can be possibilities like that. Other than that, no. It's not about breathing the same air. That would be problematic, okay? Thank you, Mona, for your question. Okay. Okay, Elena asked the question, could Adronis offer some insight regarding the way that houses are going to be constructed in terms of materials and technologies used so as less damaging to the people and the environment? All right. Don't need Adronis for this. No offense, guys, okay? When it comes down to the idea of building up homes, in that sense, you're basically looking at completely non-toxic materials. There may be the idea of working with compost bricks. There may be the idea of working with hemp, okay? There may be the idea in that sense of working together with much more clean, natural products. But unfortunately, that is not something that's available in the mainstream right now, right? A lot of people in that sense may start to work with the alternate, right? To basically getting out of asbestos or drywall or anything of that nature and working a lot more with things like compost bricks, hemp, for example, right? All of these things can be quite beneficial. Adronis has talked about this before. This is why I don't need to bring him in, right? He's actually talked to people who are builders and basically given them ideas about what type of materials they should use. And hemp was something that came in. Composted bricks would be another thing that comes in. Everything that you would find in the organic way of life that you could apply as a building structure, as a building material, can be beneficial, right? Again, it's kind of like looking at wood, right? Looking at old-fashioned wood. That would be quite beneficial as well, too. So, again, there doesn't really need to be too much of an explanation with this. It's just a matter, like I said, the mainstream doesn't do that, right? You have to kind of look more into the alternative stream because, again, they're just going to continue to pollute with all that because those particular type of building materials cut costs, right? The contaminated, the dirty, right? The ones that can make you sick, that can make you ill, are basically being used because that cuts costs. And so they're going to continue to use it until there's a loud enough voice that tells them to stop. Simple as that. Okay. So again, all you can really do is look into the alternative stream relating to natural building materials that can be worked on. Hemp, again, would be one of those big ones. All right. Okay. So let's see how we're on time. We're going to take one more question, guys. We're going to wrap up. Okay. I'm going to see if I can choose somebody who has not asked a question yet. Okay. Okay. I'm just looking at some other questions here, just before we wrap up here. Okay. I just want to try and give other people a chance who have not asked a question yet. I guess we'll end with Jean's question here. Jean says, what about swimming in the same heated pool as those who were injected? Again, guys, same result here. Because you're swimming in the same pool, you're looking at something that is heavily diluted. You're not looking at something in that sense that is infested with disease in that way. And basically, a lot of pools already have ozone in them, right? So they already have, in that sense, a cleaning nature to it. So it depends where you are, I guess. It depends on the type of heated pool that you're referring to, right? You're talking about a heated pool in a hotel. You're talking about a heated pool out in a resort. Where? Okay. Guys, we could spend all days about this conjecture. It really doesn't help you, right? It doesn't help you to get worried about all these things. About saying, oh my God, my brother had this, and then he used this knife and a fork, and oh my God, am I going to be okay right now? If you're so worried about it, give yourself a healing, right? If you're so worried about it, go ahead and cleanse yourself out just working with light. Bring white light into your tongue. Bring white light into your respiration system. Bring white light into your heart. Bring white light into your intestines, and you'll be fine, right? It's exactly as I've been teaching you guys for so many years about these free techniques that you can use, but so few of you use them. And basically, when you start using them, you're going to notice that all these things now start to shift. A couple days pass, and I'm fine. But if you are so absolutely convicted, 100%, that because you shared the same fork with your brother, that you're going to get sick, well, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to get sick, not because of what you think was actually happening between your brother and the fork, but because of what you think relating to you actually getting sick, right? You're so committed to thinking you're going to get sick and you're going to get ill, then you are. Just simple as that, right? This is, again, all about sympathetic resonance. This is exactly why a lot of us get sick, right? We just think that it's going to happen. We think it's going to happen, and we think that this is a horrible situation that happened. Oh my goodness, I'm walking inside the house and it just smells bad, and oh my God, I'm going to get sick. And all of a sudden you get sick, right? So try not to take all these in the mind. Look into the idea that even if I do feel like I am going to get sick with something, I have the ability to heal it. Why do you think people are able to get hypnotized and all of a sudden start to act like they're dogs or they're chickens? Or if a person has a big scar on their arm, that through hypnosis, they're able to watch that scar disappear right before their eyes. Because that, again, all comes down to the trance of certainty. Person is going into the trance. They're absolutely certain that through the command that they receive, that scar on their arm is now going to vanish. And it does. Okay? There's no magic to it at all. That is one who is at one with their subconscious. That's the power that you guys have. Why you guys don't want to look into that and heal yourselves to where you are completely free of any particular concern about illness whatsoever is beyond me. Oh, brother, I don't know how to do it. Yes, you do. Because you know how to doubt. Because you know how to disbelieve in yourself. Because you know how to be prejudiced upon yourself and prejudice perhaps upon others. That's a manifestation. All you're doing is you're flipping it around. Instead of judging others and thinking that I'm doomed, I'm going to cancel all that out and I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to make myself well, and I'm going to wish nothing but wellness and goodness to everybody else. How hard is that, guys? That took you 5 seconds to deduce. And now you start making it happen because all of your certainty is behind it. That's manifestation. You can manifest to screw around and mess around with yourself and make yourself unwell and feel like it's everybody else's fault and it's the world against you. And no one's going to blame you for that manifestation. It's a very stupid manifestation, by the way. But that's what you're getting yourself involved with. And you think that's what's happening to yourself. And nobody's going to question you that, because that's where your conviction lies. Your conviction lies from screwing yourself up. Rather, we can turn all that around. We can dissolve all that. We can cancel all that out. Rather than thinking that the world is against me, the world is my ally. The world is working with me. The world is making me well. And when someone is having trouble, I will take the love from my heart and I will shine it upon them. And I will give love and compassion, and I will no longer waste my time with a bunch of stupid things that are only crippling me more and more each and every day, because I love the taste of crap sandwiches. Right? And if you guys love the taste of crap sandwiches, well, hey, I'm not going to stop you. Enjoy it. Right? Because you're already eating a whole bunch of it each and every single day by you worrying and getting angry and getting upset about everything. You're just piling on the crap sandwiches. And if that's all you're here to do, then you and I don't have anything in common. Right? I work towards the divine fruit. I don't work towards crap sandwiches. Right? That was certainly an old thing of myself in the past, but that doesn't exist anymore. Right? And I recommend you guys doing it for yourself, and this is why this channel is here, to showing you guys the divine fruit, rather than you having your fetish of eating crap sandwiches all the time. Right? Okay, if that floats your boat, then go for it. But I know that's not what you want, and you know it, right? Keep that in mind. Dissolve and cancel away what has been sabotaging you. Replace it with the goodness that you are. It's that simple. It's all about conviction. It's all about certainty. It's all about you knowing that that can happen, and make it happen. All right? Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in for this episode of the Signposts. I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time for the New Earth TV live episode, where again we'll be looking into an Adronis transmission, Q&A, distance healing, and then group healing as well too. Thank you so much, everybody. Blessings to you all. Namaskar. May it be well with you, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to New Earth Teachings on YouTube. Don't forget to check out our websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can do private sessions with me, and also etherics.co. And through Etherics, you'll be able to pick up your Healing Code Cards body deck, your mind deck, and your energy deck through Etherics. You will also be able to pick up the Etherbed kit. That is also on Etherics as well. Not to mention that you'll also be able to pick up some apparel and accessories that is also available on Etherics. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Namaskar, and may it be well with you.